Oh, hey, how y'all doing today? Ever have those aha moments where you're like just sitting in your car and you're driving somewhere? It always happens that all the good thoughts come when you can't write them down, you can't record them, you can't try to keep a mental note because you're paying attention to everything going on around you. Well, I had one of those, and I was just going from one place or another and kind of stuck in traffic, and I was like, talking to my bestest friend in the world, and things just came back to memory. But it wasn't so much that it hurt, but it made me remember, reflective, as you would say, that things are different and how far you've come in life and the lessons that we have learned from it, that it has taught us that we're not alone, that we're safe. We don't have to be living fear anymore. That how much stronger we've become and the strength that follows with it and the trust that grows within yourself. So, was one of those things that we, when we're young and, oh, we make those stupid choices, you know how that goes. And at the time, you don't think you're going to make it through. And this story kind of was one of those. I was surviving. I didn't have a whole lot. I had like maybe less than $200 a month to live on, and well, back in those days in the '80s, it was the food stamps, the Medicaid cards, So I've been down that road, and the other part of that road was when you're trying to get away from that obsessed person. And I remember when I first got my first apartment, I was scared to be by myself. Very scared to be by myself. But I did it. It was my space. It was peaceful. I can make it what I wanted it to be. And I had my youngest child. And the person that had gotten away from liked to follow me from place to place and stalk me. So the fear was real, physically, mentally, emotionally. It was there. And 30 plus years later, I can sit here and I can talk about this. And I was just to pass this on and help one of y'all out before I forget to throw that in there. And I remember when I got that apartment, I didn't have enough to get a home phone or anything else. I knew at any given time, if he found out where I was at, that he would show up and he was going to create havoc and try to kick my door in. He would try to, and you would be threatened with your life um, many, many times in many different ways. And you had to either show up, were always watching your back. And there's kind of a little bit of a hardship in telling the story because I just, want to be careful how I say it anyway. And I remember at that time, people didn't like to get involved in stuff. And people would hear screaming and yelling. I remember at one point, I remember he showed up and I knew my neighbor was outside and I screamed fire multiple times. No fire truck showed up, no EMS, nobody. I was alone, totally and alone. I had to find a way to make it. And that happened to be one of the scariest of days. Really bad things happened to me, especially that day. But I've learned to deal with it. I've overcome some of the nightmares. They don't necessarily always go away. They tend to pop up every once in a while. But I have no fear that it's going to come back. I've made my peace. I've in my space. It's not an easy thing to do, I promise you. But I've had to let it go in order for me to live. But anyway, one of these days he showed up and he started trying to kick in my door. And I had recently got to talk to my neighbor. And I said, hey, look, I said, I don't have a phone and I really, really need help. If the situation arises and someone comes to my door threatening me because I'm not opening up my door or something, could you please just stop and quietly make the phone call so that I can get some help. I don't have a phone in the house. I have my son, and the only place I had to hide was a closet. Now, being on a third floor apartment explains the closet, considering that was the worst place to hide. And all I could do was sit there and pray for God, for him not to come in. Well, God heard me that day, as he had many other times. And somewhere I heard a knocking on the wall in my kitchen. And she said, and I could hear through the wall her telling me that the police were on their way. And he continued to try to get in so badly that he literally went across the hallway to the other door and ran and tried to kick my door in multiple times. And for some of us, not everybody understands. But for some of you, you might be going through these situations, and I'm here to let you know you will make it. You will not be stuck in that situation anymore. All you have to do is sit, watch, and you will find a way out. There is always a door to get out. It may take time, but God will keep you safe. There is always protection around you, because it's your choice to be there. You either find a way to get out or you don't. But you will get out if that's what you really, really want. And I just wanted to let you know, y'all are not alone. And in that lesson, I have learned to become who I am today. I have become my higher self. I'm not afraid to sit here and do this through the losses that I have dealt with. My children are all grown, all 4 of them. Usually, they're good and they make good choices, but we all make mistakes. I mean, hey, that's life. But they survived, and I would not have those children if I hadn't have gotten out. At least 3 of them. So, I just wanted to let you know, you can do it. You have the courage. You have the strength. The universe, God, source, spirit, whoever it is you look to will help you. Believe in yourself. And it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to do, and I can honestly tell you this right from experience. But you got this. You can do it. There is help. Don't give up. You will find it. You really will. It was a hard place to come from. So whoever this is meant for, Please hear me. You have a friend, someone. There's someone there somewhere, whether you see it or not. You will find that person. Get out and live. Live to see another day. Not everyone is bad. You have to trust someone along the way. I'm going to end this one because I don't know who this is meant for. But if you need to hear it, please, if you have a friend that is in need, that is in this situation, and you don't know what to do, please take the time to give this to them. Because I can feel it deep within myself right now. Someone needs to see this before it's too late. There is no reason for them to have to live with what they live with for another day. Please. But anyway, sorry, spirit hit me. At least my spirit, my guides, because yes, I walk in all ways, but always in love and light and in healing and in purpose. If something is meant to reach somebody, it will reach them. God will see it. The universe will see it. It will go where it's supposed to go. So I'm going to end this with a quick protection for all. No harm will come your way. In love and light, with harm to none, it is done. Blessed be.